Hello from Dhaka. This is Tahmina Nupur and you are watching BSS News. At first, the headlines. Election Commission wants to present beautiful, acceptable, transparent polls to nations, says Chief Election Commissioner. BNP wants interim government to be successful, says Tarique Rahman. Jamaat Amir seeks United Nations continued support for Bangladesh's development. Probe begins into Awami League's crime as party, says ICT Chief Prosecutor. Hamas and Israel open talks in Egypt under Trump's Gaza peace plan. Now the details. Election Commission aims to conduct beautiful, acceptable, transparent polls, says Chief Election Commissioner. Chief Election Commissioner AMM Nasir Uddin said today that the Election Commission aims to hold a beautiful, acceptable and transparent polls and sought cooperation from all to achieve this goal. He told a view exchange meeting with election experts at the Election Commission Secretariat in Agargaon. A total of 10 former election officials took part in the discussion. The Chief Election Commissioner said new challenges are emerging every day ahead of the election and that the polls will be held in a special situation under a special type of government. Conducting a credible election has become a mission of his life. Nasir Uddin said ensuring a fair and transparent election is not possible for the Commission alone, calling for the support of citizens, media and political parties. He also sought expert suggestions to prevent irregularities in the polls, saying that civil society members have been consulted to identify potential gaps in the process. 4 election commissioners and senior officials of the Secretariat joined the meeting chaired by the CEC. Earlier on Monday, the Commission held a dialogue with editors and senior journalists. The Election Commission started its series of dialogues with stakeholders on 28 September ahead of the upcoming national elections. BNP wants interim government to succeed, says Tarique Rahman. Bangladesh Nationalist Party acting chairman Tarique Rahman has said that his party wants the interim government to be successful. In an interview aired by the BBC Bangla, he said the BNP expects the government will fulfill its main responsibility by ensuring a free, fair and impartial election. The interim government's key goal is to hold an election after completing necessary reforms. Tarique Rahman said the BNP hopes the government will carry out its duties effectively and according to the announced election roadmap. About party priorities, he said the BNP's core policy is Bangladesh first, which means protecting the sovereignty and interests of the people. Regarding relations with India, he said Bangladesh's national interest would always come first. He called for a fair share of transboundary river water and said the BNP would not accept incidents like the Felani killing. If any country, he said, shelters a tyranny against the will of the Bangladeshi people, the BNP would stand by its people and maintain a firm stance in line with national interest. Jamaat Amir seeks United Nations continued support for Bangladesh's development. Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman today sought the continued support of the United Nations for the overall development of Bangladesh. He made the request during a meeting with United Nations Resident Coordinator in Dhaka, Gwen Lewis, at his Bosundhara office. Huma Khan, Human Rights Advisor to the United Nations Residents Representatives, was also present. Issues like current human rights and political situation, Rohingya crisis and the upcoming national elections came up in the discussion. Dr. Shafiqur Rahman sought the United Nations cooperation and technical assistance in ensuring a free, fair and credible election. The meeting also expressed hope for the United Nations' continued support in protecting women's rights and enhancing skills in workplaces. Jamaat Secretary General Professor Mia Ghulam Parwar and Supreme Court lawyer Mir Ahmed bin Kashem Arman were also present. Probe begins into Awami League's alleged crimes, says ICT Chief Prosecutor. International Crimes Tribunal ICT Chief Prosecutor Mohammad Tajul Islam said today that a formal investigation has begun into the alleged crimes committed by the Awami League as a political party. Talking to the reporters at the ICT premises, the Chief Prosecutor said an investigation officer has already been appointed and the probe agency will complete the work as soon as possible. Once the investigation report is received, necessary legal steps will be taken to bring the party to justice. The law, he said, specifies possible punishments for a political party if found guilty, including banning the party, imposing sanctions, seizing property, or issuing directives regarding its leaders and activists. Replying to the query, Mohammad Tajul Islam clarified that the investigation is currently focused only on the Awami League, but if evidence later shows involvement of other parties, appropriate measures will be taken accordingly. Hamas and Israel open talks in Egypt under Trump's Gaza plan. Delegations from Hamas and Israel began indirect talks in Egypt on Monday to end the nearly 2-year-long war in Gaza. The discussions are taking place under tight security in Cairo, with mediators from Egypt and Qatar shuttling between the two sides. According to Al Qahira News, the first round of talks ended amid a positive atmosphere and will continue on Tuesday. Negotiators are reportedly discussing groundwork for a hostage prisoners exchange, where hostages held in Gaza could be released in return for Palestinians detained in Israeli jails. United States President Donald Trump told reporters at the White House that he was confident a peace deal was possible, saying he believed Hamas was ready to compromise on key points. Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to join the talks in Egypt. A Palestinian source close to Hamas said the negotiations may continue for several days, describing them as difficult and complex. Hamas leader Khalil al-Hayya, who survived an Israeli strike in Doha last month, met Egyptian intelligence officials before the talks began. Under Trump's proposal, the plan includes the disarmament of Hamas and a gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. The initial phase focuses on a temporary truce and the release of 47 hostages in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Meanwhile, Israeli airstrikes continued on Monday, killing at least 7 Palestinians, according to Gaza Civil Defense Agency. The International Committee of the Red Cross said it was ready to assist with the exchange and facilitate humanitarian aid. If the talks fail, Israeli military chief Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir has warned of a return to full-scale fighting. Hamas' 7th October 2023 attack on Israel killed 1,219 people, mostly civilians. Israel's retaliatory offensive has since killed over 67,000 Palestinians, according to Gaza's health ministry figures cited by the United Nations. That's all for today. For more information, visit bssnews.net. Thanks for watching.